I think it would be a really bad thing, actually. That would be very bad. I wouldn't appreciate it. I don't think anybody else appreciates it. Yeah, that would be a bad thing, really bad.
Thank you. Sweet. So how would you feel if slavery was still around today?
Well, I actually wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like shocked and seeing that. I'd probably try and go help, but not so much out. Even though I'm white, but
Yeah, it's all about just, helping out as best you could if something like that happened. Thank you. Okay, so what if, or what are your thoughts if Hitler was still around today? How would you make you feel?
Well, I don't think the world would be a better place. It would
You do or
just.
you don't?
I don't.
Ah.
I don't, because he's like a psycho. Totally brainwashes people, and he can sell anything to you. Just the way how persuasive he was. He brainwashed the whole country basically.
Try to get rid of one race and move on to the next, but
Totally kill off all the weaklings. It's crazy.
well, thank you, sweet. So, Miss Johnson, how would you feel if the Holocaust was still around?
If the Holocaust was still happening, well, we wouldn't be here because as minorities, for sure, with Hitler's Aryan perspective, any minorities would basically be the lower class, which would be obliterated. So it'd be sucky for all of us people who are minorities, and it just wouldn't happen. And anytime there's a dictatorship, there's always that high, that discrepancy between the upper class and the people who are being completely controlled, and it never works out in the long run. So it would be a really bad situation for everybody. That's it.
Well, thank you. Okay, how would you feel if the outcome of World War I and World War II were different? Like, if we didn't win them?
Well, in all honesty, if we didn't win World War I don't think there would be a World War II. And also, if you think about it, we're on the island of North America, and Europe is way over there. I don't think we would really have a problem. We'd know about them coming early because they're such a great distance.
Mm-hmm.
So if they tried to do a secondary attack on America, I think we'd have it covered.
Cool. Question is, how would you feel if the Bill of Rights or the Declaration of Independence was never created?
Well, being female, I think it would have a huge impact on me because one of the reasons it was created is so that all people would have equal rights. I might be soft-spoken, but I'm not a meek female, so I think I would have a difficult time being considered someone's property and not being able to make decisions of my own. I look at other countries where women don't have those rights and have to be, covered all the time and can't drive a car. And it's one thing to make that choice. We have women in America that make that choice, but it's not being forced upon them. And so I think that everyone needs to be able to have the freedom to choose their own destiny.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Green, how would you feel if 9/11 didn't happen?
If 9/11 didn't happen, I think we'd all be sitting pretty secure still. If 9/11 didn't happen, I think that our nation would probably be a lot more secure, but maybe in a false security. We'd know that there's some danger looming somewhere, but we probably wouldn't expect it to come. And when it did come, just like 9/11, we'd probably be frightened and scared and out of it. So we've had a couple terrorist attacks before 9/11, but we kind of brushed them off because none of them really impacted us. So I think we'd still just be living in a false security here in the U.S.
What's up, JV? How would you feel if George Washington or Abraham Lincoln were still alive today?
Well, that'd be pretty cool because they're supposed to be the best presidents we've ever had. So I feel like the world would probably, or at least the country would probably be a little bit better if they were still president.
Do you think they would have an impact on the world today as it is, or no?
Yeah, if George Washington was still alive and he was, still president and stuff, I feel like a lot of the things in the country right now that are not so good would be a lot better.
What about Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln, well, see, I think the big thing about him was he freed the slaves and stuff, and there's no more slaves, so I I really don't know what he would do.
All right, well, thank you.
No problem.
So, how would you feel if the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights were never created? Would the world be the same as it is today, or no?
No.
No?
I can't really tell you how I would feel if it never been created, because if it hadn't been created, we wouldn't know what we were missing. But yes, I believe that the world would be different.
How so?
We wouldn't have any rights.
And like none at all? Do you think?
I think it'd be pick and choose. I mean, if somebody had it out for you, you'd be in trouble. You know,
Yes.
you're talking about the police, you're talking about attorneys and judges, and I mean, I think you'd be pretty well stripped of your rights.
Oh, all
If
right.
they were having a bad day, you'd have a bad day.
Yeah. Well, alrighty, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, how would you feel if Martin Luther King was still alive today?
I think if Martin Luther King was still alive today, we would have, you know, made a better strides in our race relations, and I think he could have affected some great change in our world.
Awesome. Do you think it would be? Would you think slavery some slavery that still happens today would be bigger now, or no? Would it decrease, I should say, now or no?
Well, I would hope it would decrease. I think slavery is something that's happened forever, and it will probably continue. So I don't know that we'd ever get rid of it. But I think people like Martin Luther King Jr. Were very effective at affecting change and working toward those changes.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So, how would you feel if George Washington or Abraham Lincoln were still alive today? Would things be the same now, or would they be different?
Well, I think certain things would be, well, depending on their condition, if they were alive today. I think things would be different or the same. If, like, for example, if they were out of their coffins, things would be very much the same. However, if they were, up and out and about right now, like, for example, George Washington, he would be against our current political parties, because he explicitly said before he retired from his tenure as president that political parties would lead to division among the people of the United States.
All right, so how would you feel if Martin Luther King was still alive today?
I think that would be a positive effect on our community today. Like, there would be less racial violences and less gangs, I believe, because with his influence and his speeches that he gives, then I would think that would give people a more positive look on life and help out the community more.
All right, thank you.
So Nick, how do you think the Earth or the world would be if the outcome of the wars were different?
I think it would be different because, if we lost, then we wouldn't have potato fields. And then I wouldn't be able to have fries at McDonald's. And my favorite thing at McDonald's is fries. That's how I think it'd be different.
All right, thank you.
Ready? So, what if Hitler was still alive today? Would the world be different, yes or no?
Yeah, I think it would be, because if Hitler was still alive, we would have a lot more security problems.
Anything else other than security?
No.
No? All right, cool.